Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the rest of 2025. I almost said 2018, so you might want to think back to whatever was going on in your life in 2018. There might be, something in that for you. So, whenever that happens, usually there's something. By the way, each one of these rows is going to represent something different, kind of like those deep question readings I did. In your first row is going to be what you need to hear right now. You have this wife and engagement card and this news and messages card. Again, as always, this doesn't have to be like marriage. This could be your commitment to something, which I'm pretty sure comes up for you often, Leo, that there's something that you need to commit to. And, this could be like a project, a business, an idea that you have, a way of living, your health, whatever it is. It's like you need to, kind of like make sure that you're fully committed to whatever you're working on. You do have the Four of Wands here, which is also marriage, but also it can represent commitment as well. So I think, making sure that you're fully committed to whatever you're doing is probably going to be the thing that makes you the most successful at this time or at the end of the year here. So, definitely something that I would focus on. In your first row, again, for what you need to hear right now, you have the Two of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. The Two of Pentacles is like work hard, play hard. So I definitely get that energy for you here, Leo, where it's like if you're working hard, I think you should also be balancing out the energy and, making sure that you're playing hard so that you can get, just benefits. And also, we're kind of in that time where we need to be careful of like not wasting our energy, basically. So, I kind of get that feeling for you here with that Two of Pentacles. It's like sometimes, I feel like Two of Pentacles is spinning plates. Sometimes I think it's a good thing to spin plates. Sometimes I think it's a bad thing, right? So it's like sometimes in life, it's like, yeah, we have no other choice other than, sometimes we have to, right? It's like sometimes we have to, and sorry, like everything is moved around in my office here, so let me fix it. But anyway, it's like sometimes we have to, but I kind of feel like you're in a time where the energy is asking you to kind of like pick one thing that you want to focus on right now and, make that one thing your focus, whether it's in business or love or your health or spiritually. Like I would pick one thing at a time here. I also think that the universe has been trying to say to you, Leo, that there are many things that like produce a better result in your life. Like again, in work, business, pretty much everywhere. And, I would be really making sure that you know what is working in your life, right? And I would examine that in all areas of life so that you can double down on those things that are working. You have the Two of Cups. Definitely could be love here if you want it, clearly. I mean, you have the Ten of Cups. You have the Empress. We have the Four of Wands. These readings have been pretty good for love, this set of readings for the end of the year here. As I have said many times in the past, this part of the year is, I think, pretty good for love. I don't necessarily think it's perfect. I just think we have better opportunities if we choose to take them. But again, we have to go and get these opportunities. It's not going to just magically happen. So, you have to do things to make it happen. But, it definitely exists. So, if you want it, it looks good. I would get out there and get it. You have the Four of Wands, and then you have the Ten of Cups right next to it. So, literally could be meeting an admirer or a person that could lead to marriage and family in the future if that's what you're into. So, again, I would definitely go for it with that card. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands says don't give up, right? Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. Nine of Wands wants you to keep pushing ahead. He's kind of taking one last chance at something. And I do feel that energy for Leo for sure. Like, I think a lot of you are definitely in a time in your life where you literally are. Like, I don't usually feel that on the Nine of Wands. Like, to me, the Nine of Wands is just a card of perseverance. I don't really look at it as, like, taking one, like, literally that last chance, if that makes sense. But that's kind of what I feel for you here. It's like there's like you're doing something, you're giving something one last shot, whatever it is. And, we go up to the Temperance card, to the Six of Swords. Temperance is a card of alchemy, turning one thing into another. So, Temperance kind of says that you are the one that's in control of your situation. You can turn a negative into a positive. You can turn a positive into a negative with the Temperance card. The choice is yours. But I kind of feel like you're going to be doing something like giving something one last shot here, Leo. I might have said this to you recently as well. But, it feels like work to me. It's like something money related. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles here. Knight of Pentacles kind of says, like, what are you waiting for? he has those empty fields behind him on the Knight of Pentacles. The whole point of the Knight of Pentacles is progress. He needs to plant seeds in that field behind him, and they will grow. So I feel for a lot of you, it is definitely a time of, making progress, planting seeds, doing things to, make progress. And, that's what I would be focusing on with that Knight of Pentacles. With the Page of Cups, you have the Two of Wands. Yeah, like I said, you're gonna have to do things you've never done before to find love if you want it. The whole point of the Two of Wands is that he has to leave his castle. He has to get out of his house, right? He has to go somewhere. He has to go do things to find that love. Like, he has to get into the world, and I feel that for a lot of you. But I also do feel, I feel pretty good about this Knight of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, the Empress showing up here, Three of Pentacles. We're only getting, we only just started, Leo, and we're seeing a lot of what I would consider to be progress cards, Six of Swords as well. So I feel that you at the end of the year here, you could be making a lot more progress than you have all year combined. I definitely think there is like an opportunity for you to do that, and no one else has had a message like that with this in this set of readings. So again, I would, this could mean that you're like getting motivated. Like you're gonna have to do things to make this happen. But I think you maybe could be feeling very motivated, and I would like capture that energy and make sure you're doing extra things to stay motivated, to keep making progress and all that. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Nine of Cups, which is great. Definitely could be some sort of fulfillment or wish fulfillment coming in for you if that's what you're into, if that's what you're looking for. I think you're getting into alignment. I think you are more in alignment with your goals. You're much. Sometimes I think when we're just more focused on the things that we want, it's maybe not easier to get them, but those things. But they can come to us a little bit more easily, and I feel that here. Next, we're going to look at what are you outgrowing at this time, I should say. You have this Cobra card that says Divine Awakening. You also have this card that says Seek Assistance. I don't think you're necessarily outgrowing an awakening, but I do feel, the Cobras can kind of represent a trance, being stuck in a trance, or having to deal with something like that. And maybe that's what you're breaking, is some sort of trance in your life, or something that has, kind of been holding power over you for a long time. And so I do feel like it's almost like you are setting yourself free from something here, Leo. And, one thing I will say is that you do have the Four of Wands here. The Four of Wands is definitely a card of freedom to me. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and the Four of Wands, again, in the area of what you're outgrowing at this time. And the Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness, so it makes sense that the Page of Pentacles would come up, because usually if we are learning something new, eventually we know everything we need to know, and that's it. We can move on to the next thing, right? So a lot of you could be releasing, that kind of like this stage, if that makes sense. The learning stage, and now maybe you're getting into like the action stage on something, or something like that. The other thing I would say here, Leo, is like, I think it would be worth it to educate yourself on something as well. So even though, this part of the reading is meant to represent something you're outgrowing, I do get this feeling here for you where it's like, if you're learning a new skill, or like if you're training yourself on something, I feel it would be very valuable for you. Like whatever it is that you're training yourself on, or whatever you're learning, or whatever you're educating yourself on, that's what I would be, doing with the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, there you go. Like, I would keep learning. I think, one thing that I will say here, Leo, is you always get these cards of potential. As a matter of fact, you always get the High Priestess with me, and she shows up at the end here, which is really funny. The High Priestess is a card of full potential. And, like, I think we're in a time of potential, but again, potential means nothing. Potential means what we put into something is what we're going to get out of it, right? So it's like, if you're learning something new, I think, like, it has a lot of potential, but you're going to have to get it, extract that potential. You have the Temperance card. The weird thing about this card is I feel like you're just letting something be broken. I don't know, sometimes there are things in life we just can't fix, right? It's like, if you take a ceramic plate and you broke it into literally a billion pieces, it would be impossible almost for you to get that back together as it originally was, right? And so, it's like sometimes there are things in life that I think are broken. I don't even know what the hell this is talking about. Do I think it's good? Yeah, yes, I think this is a good thing. Like, I think sometimes we just have to realize that some things in life can't be fixed. This feels very general to me, so, I feel it's going to be different for all of you, but definitely that was literally the message that just popped into my head when I picked up this card. It's like you're just allowing something to be broken. Again, this isn't like a judgment thing or anything like that. It's like sometimes, like if this is a person, it's like maybe that's what we have to say sometimes with a person. Like sometimes a person is broken. And again, I'm not criticizing any of these other people, right? But it's like sometimes people have a lot of traumas and, maybe we shouldn't, we're not here to fix anyone, right? We have to fix ourselves. And so it's like maybe we have to just let those people go sometimes and say, you know what? I just need to release this person with love and they need to take care of their own stuff, right? But I don't even think this is love for most of you. I think it's just something. Next, you have the Four Wands. Yeah, setting yourself free. There have been a crap ton of freedom cards in all of these readings. And so, the Four Wands is about crossing this threshold or this finish line. Like finishing something up from the past and crossing through the threshold, getting to the other side here and celebrating with these other people. Definitely, I think would be a good thing for you to do right now, Leo, is celebrate with these other people because, or to like finish something up and get to something to the next stage because, I don't know, I just think it would be a good thing. Like, as a matter of fact, I just, looking at this part of the reading, the second half, we'll call it, even though, I don't know, technically this is the second half, it's like, it just seems to me like there's something that needs to get to its next logical step, but it's not. This could be love for some of you. I will say King of Pentacles has been coming up for a lot of people as well. King of Pentacles energy can be a little bit slow or boring or whatever, but like at first, but usually they're very good in love. And so, again, this could be love where it's like it needs to get going. Let's see. Yes, with the Page of Pentacles, you showing up here in a whenever you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading with the Strength card here. So this could just be talking about you showing up in a strong position, getting a lot of attention, standing out, things like that with that Page of Pentacles, which would be great. I also feel like there's like some sort of return to stamina. It's like I feel like this last third of the year, it's like the last 3 months. What is that? September, October, November. So October, November, December. I don't know. I'm a dummy. I don't know what date it is, right? But what I would say here is like the last third. So maybe not like right this second, but once we October-ish time frame, I really feel like something is changing for you around that time where you just feel more energetic and, ready to go. Now, I think just intuitively, I feel like this is going to continue through 2026. Like it feels to me like maybe you have lost your stamina this year, 2025, maybe even, before this year, but it's like returning, which is obviously good. Even though this is the area of the reading of what you're outgrowing. With the Temperance card, you have two cards. You have the Ten of Swords and Temperance. So, again, I think that the Ten of Swords can say something from the past is dead, done, over with. Something is broken. How funny is it that I basically said that? Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with, and then you go to the Six of Swords, which is about moving on to calmer shores, just choosing to release something and move on, right? So, there you go. With the Four Wands, yes, you have the Fool. Definitely a time to take some sort of leap of faith towards something that you think might set you free. That's the time we're in. Uranus, we had Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is now in Gemini. I don't care. When a major planet goes through a sign, we are learning the lessons after we have to implement those lessons. So even though it's not still there, we are absolutely still implementing the lesson. So, what I would say here is like anything that can make you feel more free, and especially you as a fixed sign are going to get a lot of benefits from doing that, from working with that fixed Uranus and Taurus energy. and part of that means being more flexible, which has nothing to do with being fixed, right? But definitely a time to do that. Next, we're going to look at one move that would change everything for you right now. You have this Bear Tree card. It says, don't waste your energy or efforts on something that is clearly not bearing fruit. Yes, Ten of Swords, Temperance, Six of Swords. There you go. That's like the move you need to make. You have the Stag Spirit. It says, you are meant for great things. Trust in all that you have to offer. I'd also say take the lead, right? I think that the Stag Spirit can represent getting into this energy of being a leader or taking advantage of leadership opportunities. And I would definitely do that with this card. You have the Six of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Cups. Six of Swords can be moving on to calmer shores, can be heading towards improvements. definitely could be a lot of improvements here with the Six of Swords. I do feel progress, like quite a bit in this reading. So a lot of you are either doing things to make progress, or the things you are doing are helping to make progress in your life, which of course would be great. I do feel like just forward movement as well. I really almost don't feel this is saying anything. Again, we're looking at one move that you could make that would change everything. It's like, yeah, this is part of this row, but, I kind of feel that you're just moving on to calmer shores. I don't really feel it's talking about that. You have the Nine of Swords. I think one move you could make right now that would help you get ahead the most would be getting out of your head. Nine of Swords says, how many times do you have to keep trying the same thing over and over and over again, and it's not working, right? Anything in your life, that you're trying to manifest or create or do, it's like, I think your approach needs to change here. I almost feel like a more leadership approach or a more aggressive approach to something would help you get answers. Like, I think it's just intuitively, this is what I feel. It's like, I feel like it's a time where you need to get those clear answers and accept those answers. It's like, maybe you need to go, like, if you want a raise, for example, maybe you need to go to your boss and say, I want a raise. What do I need to do? And if your boss says there's nothing you can do, it's like, maybe, and we're not given raises, then maybe that's your answer. Maybe it's time to accept that and start looking for something else, right? And so, it's like, I hope that makes sense. It's like, I get this brutal honesty with yourself type of energy off this Nine of Swords, or at least that's what it's saying to me. And, I think that would be the best move for you. It's like same thing in love. It's like, I think people torture themselves, like wondering if a person is interested. Like, that used to be the number one question I used to get all the time. People would ask me, like, is this person interested? And like, should I talk to them? I'm like, well, I would always say yes to those people, no matter what, even if the outcome was negative, because it's like, what are you going to do? Just like wait and never find out? You're just torturing yourself. It's like, you should just ask. And if they say no, then you can move on to the next one. If they say yes, great. Now you have your answer, right? It's like, I get that feeling here where it's like, you need to stop torturing yourself on something. You have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family. Good things happening after a difficult period of time. So definitely improvements coming in for you here, Leo. I feel like there could be... I also get good news here, which, didn't I say that earlier? You have the Page of Pentacles, which kind of is a good news card. So I do feel there could be some good news coming in here. With the Six of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, definitely some sort of change in your fortunes here. Like, I feel this is naturally happening. It's kind of weird that, like, I think the one step you need to take here is the Nine of Swords. That's it. I don't think this... Sometimes I do a reading, and I would say, I read intuitively. I don't try to force a reading to say something that it's not going to say, right? And so it's almost like I feel like these two cards are just general. Like, I feel like they're not answering this question. What's one move you could make that would change everything? They're not really talking about that. I think you just are doing things with this right here that is going to change things for you. It's like you already are on the path of, changing your fortunes, and which is great. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Emperor. Can't make it up. Take the lead. Literally said it. I literally said it with that stag spirit, and you also have the Emperor and the Empress right here. This could be love, if you want love, for sure. Could be a Taurus, could be any sign. This is a general reading, so, you have a little bit of everything here, Leo. So it could be any sign, but if you're looking for love, I would definitely say, like, I'm not saying you have to, like, tell this person, like, out front that you're in love with them, but, like I always say to everybody, you could probably flirt more, or something. Or just get it over and done with and say it and stop torturing yourself, right? With the Ten of Cups, you have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. Three of Pentacles also putting your work on display. I said this at I can't remember exactly what I said at the beginning of the reading, but I said something about, like, you... or maybe I didn't. I could be making this up in my head. But, there could be a lot of opportunity and work involving attention. Again, especially, I probably have said this in past readings, that Pluto in Aquarius, I think, is going to be great for you getting attention on your work. You have the Three of Pentacles twice here, and then as your outcome here as well. Three of Pentacles is getting recognition on the work that you've already done. So, really good. Next, we're going to look at what blessings are coming in for you at this time. You have this Listen card and this Love from Creator card, so there definitely could be, love from the Creator coming in for you. And this, to me, would say, like, maybe you feel like the universe is listening. It's like the universe is delivering on something that you've been asking for here, Leo, which is great. You have the Empress, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. The Empress says you are very attractive at this time, so I would definitely put yourself out there, Leo, if you're looking for love. And if you want it, your last row is going to represent love. We'll talk about it, but again, I'll say that. I definitely feel a lot of abundance here, but again, I don't think there's necessarily magical abundance coming in for you. I think this is, based off of work that you've done or work that you are doing right now. I would also say that there's a lot of potential in work that you could be doing. You might be becoming interested in something, and it may take. I know people don't want to hear this, but it may take some time to build up whatever it is that you're becoming interested in. But it would definitely be worth it, is what I'm getting here. So I would go for it. You have the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands. I do think this is one person, basically. I feel like maybe you see this person like this, the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is very good. King of Pentacles can definitely be a very solid connection that lasts for a long time. I always say King of Pentacles type people usually want something that lasts. They want to build something that lasts as well. But they can kind of seem a little bit slow. I don't know. I like, again, just tapping into this person's energy. Yes, I think they're slow. It's like, I think maybe they're slow at picking up on signs and symbols and synchronicities in connections and things like that. So I don't know if you are flirting with a person right now, especially if it's an earth sign or another fire sign here, then it's maybe they're slow. Could also be a Pisces. You have this High Priestess, and as a Pisces, I can tell you Pisces are completely clueless. It's like everybody says Pisces is very intuitive, but I think when it comes to Pisces using their intuition on themselves, they're completely lost. So there you go. You have the King of Wands. King of Wands about taking lead, being bold, being assertive. It's I think you need to trust your future vision as well. If you have ideas for the future, you really need to trust those futuristic ideas, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. I think that's going to benefit you, Leo, you being your opposite sign. I think it's going to benefit your innovative abilities, your abilities to literally innovate, but also invent new ways of doing things and find success. With the Empress, you have the Empress. So very attractive at this time. Could be attracting a lot of abundance as well. So, again, if you're looking for love or anything like that, I would get out there. I can't make this up. With the King of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. Again, could be a Pisces. It also could just be a person where there is a lot of potential. But again, this is the curse of Leo. I don't want to call it a curse. I just think maybe this is the challenge that Leo has been dealing with for a year and will continue to deal with probably. And again, it's not really a bad thing. But I think that there is something about potential in Leo. I don't know what it is. It's maybe it's time for you to reach your full potential on something. It also could be saying that there is a connection that has a lot of potential. But again, potential means what you put into something. And obviously, if it's involving another person, what they put into something as well. So, again, you're going to have to pay attention to that. But a lot of potential here. With the King of Wands, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, quick success, quick conclusions, charging forward towards momentum, building momentum. It is an amazing time for people, I believe, to build momentum. It's one of my favorite things to focus on right now. So yeah, that I would definitely focus on things that create momentum. Next, we are going to look at what will happen for you in love at this time. You have this Call Your Ally card. It says loyal, powerful, capable, and guide. Literally could be attracting a person that's a guide. This might not even be love, Leo. I mean, you could love this person, but more in a platonic type of way, right? So you could be attracting a person who's a guide, a mentor, something like that. But also could be love. You have this reframe card. It says reflect, shift perspective, and discernment. I think everybody needs to do this. I talk about this all the time. We had these weird Scorpio cycles since the 70s, and that's when divorce peaked, right? And now those cycles are kind of ending. I believe, this is a personal belief, it's not intuitive or anything like that, but I do believe that love has changed since 2023. And you might be saying, Chris, what are you talking about? Love is worse than ever. Have you been out here on these streets? Yes, I was born on the streets. That's what you all need to realize, right? I grew up on the streets, okay? So yes, I've been out there. I understand what it's like. But one thing I will say is, to use a cliche, which, normally I only use with Cancer, but I'll use one with you. It has to get worse before it gets better. And, I kind of feel like that's a stage we've been in. It's we're seeing a lot of what we don't want, and things are changing, and things are getting better, and we just need to realize that we're all being directed to, kind of focus on what we do want. And so I think it is a great time to reframe love and things like that. Again, I think that maybe some of you need to heal as well. Like if you are not, this is not a bad thing. Again, I think that if you are feeling like you want love, but maybe there's some blockages, Three of Swords isn't necessarily a bad card. Like, yeah, sure, it can represent a heartbreak. But number one, I feel for you intuitively that you could be fearing a heartbreak. That's clearly why something is too slow right here. I feel it. I see it. I felt this for you for weeks. Something is too slow. I don't know. I feel like have said this to you before. The other thing I would say is that it's an excellent time for healing, the end of the year here. Pretty much this last quarter, right? I think would be a great time to heal. And so, yeah, I mean, anything you can do to heal, rest, relax, recover, I think would be a good thing for you to do, and I would do it. You have the High Priestess. Yeah, the High Priestess is about trusting your intuition, but also reaching your full potential. And you always get this card with me, or you get the Ace of Pentacles. And, we're always talking about this with you, Leo. So I think that there's, like, some potential that you could be reaching, but it's like you have to really do it, It's like you have to really go for it. And I pretty much would. You have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles can say teamwork makes the dream work. So I think for a lot of you that you have to focus on working on a team. Especially in love. Like, I really do feel that we are in a time where we could be attracting people where it's like we do have similar goals. But there's one thing I want to say is that we are also in a time where I feel like we could be attracting people who are very different than what we would normally go for. But at the same time, it's like parallel paths, if that makes sense. So I think and again, we're all different. So some of you will be attracting someone who probably is your usual type. But I think for some of us, it's like maybe we're attracting people who are very different, but maybe the vision, the goal, like where the relationship is going is very similar. And, I think that's what you need to realize. But let's that just did not work at all. So let's try that again. With the Three of Swords, yes, you have the Tower. I think this is a fear, is what I would say. I feel like you are fearing that something is going to be a Tower moment. That's why this is so slow, like whatever is going on here. But it's like a Tower moment that you shouldn't even be worried about. Like, I feel like this is in your head. This card actually came out in reverse. I don't read reversals, but, it is kind of interesting. With the here we go. Two of Cups, yes. Like, if you have a person on your mind right now, like, yes. And you cannot make this shit up, Leo. I literally said different than your usual type. These two cards, the Two of Cups is usually someone who is different than your usual type. So there you go. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the World. Yes, some sort of accomplishment or achievement. You definitely need to get out into the world. We were saying this on the Two of Wands right here. So I think you definitely need to get out into the world as well. But I don't know, Leo. I kind of like this reading for you. So a lot of good stuff going on here. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.